So, I'd like to welcome everyone today to this meetup. So, now I just want to invite Mr. Shivling. He has come down to this place all the way from Pune. He is our one of our 2021-22 candidate. Okay, and he was successfully transformed at that time. And I don't want to talk much, but what I will try to do is he will take more time. Okay, but it's a kind of a very inspirational story because he's not from IT. Okay, so but the efforts I want to say a very important thing when he was coming to us in 2021, I think COVID time, peak COVID. First time he had because he's from Maharashtra, right? So he had 20 minutes conversation with me and Vasit. Then we told a lot of things. Then again he had a 20 minutes conversation. And then there was a 20-minute conversation. So a lot of conversations he asked and he was so afraid of that. And then he came, it's all much online. Okay, so even today we have good tools like Teams, we have great digital whiteboarding. But imagine in 2021, the technology, the presentation stack which we have used is not what you are seeing is almost a very great thing, but what they have seen is just some even 30% is what the whiteboarding particularly, they were not up to the class. Okay. But the matter is, he has been from a non-IT itself. And he was able to do that transition. And then he was able to become like the questions that he asked in the Linux sessions, particularly in your case, we took Linux after 1.5 months or 1 month. But those kinds of all, first we start with Linux, then we go for Docker, Kubernetes kind of tools. So Linux itself, we go for almost 4 weeks, 32 hours. At that time, we had 4 hours session. So what has happened is the questions he generally asks in the Linux sessions looks like a mature person asking a question. We can't even believe that. I still remember that. I mean, not just to praise someone. But what I'm saying is the reality. The questions he was trying to ask from a mechanical engineering background in topics like Linux will be, which encourage us so much. Okay, so he's going to share his journey. And what I'm going to do is I will be confronting him, or maybe I will be bringing some trigger to him so that to get most of them. Okay, so he is going to do that presentation. I would like to welcome.
Very good evening to all who are present over here and maybe connected via Teams. And first of all, I'll like to thank John and Inceptus team for giving me this opportunity to share my journey all over the IT, which I possess around 6.5 years of experience. And I'm very grateful that I'm able to share all the experience which I have carried along till now. So basically, as I mentioned you, right, I have a 6.5 years plus of experience into IT, out of which I hold 4+ years of experience in DevOps, and the remaining experience around 2.5 years is of support background. So as John introduced earlier, right, I am basically from a mechanical engineering background. So that is how my education journey started. Basically, why mechanical is when I opted for the mechanical engineering courses, it was very into a trending boom like around year of 2014. It is, I believe, a comment section, but I have to pursue my diploma also in mechanical because I had that passion to pursue my degree. But circumstances, unfortunately, turned me upside down to change my career path. So till 2014, I pursued my diploma in mechanical engineering, where I scored first class. After that, I moved to degree, where I passed with distinction. And after that, I tried working out into mechanical companies. I worked for a quality background for 3 to 4 months, where I got to know that my area of expertise will be very limited. So I thought to pursue deep into my mechanical engineering, and that's how I enrolled to the designing courses into mechanical. And from there, again, I started my journey for finding new job where I failed again. So during this time, I got to know that mechanical stream is mechanical stream around around after 2016 and 2017 was going through very downhill, as we all might be know who are close to the mechanical background. So getting job was not an easy task then. Uh, during during this time, it was all my learning phase, and I was continuously into my learning phase till then. After that, what happened is, uh, I was totally into uh, my down phase and wanted to pursue job very hardly because I had that peer pressure from my parents and all that. Not so much. I would not like to mention so much of pressure, but yeah, after paying so hefty amount of fees into my education and then not getting a good job was there into my mind constantly. But somehow I was into the learning phase, so I had my confidence into it, and I uh, I applied for a non-mechanical company into a walk-in drive, and my friend referred for actually to me to it was a support job, and at that time I felt the only important thing was to get a decent job, maybe even into the support field, but let's land into an IT. So I worked as a robotic process automation support over there. There I worked on technology like Blue Prism, UiPath, and etc. That was basically a support job. After continuing for around 1 year into that, I got to know that this technology can be easily adopted. And as I was freshly passed out and I had that courage into me, so I wanted to again upskill my technology. During that part, I used to continuously have engagement with my colleagues who were in office. So one of my colleagues referred me to the John's means course over there at that point in time. But again, I would like to say that it was just about upgrading myself, but I was not nearly focused at what should I be into. Like, would it be a development? Would it be an STF? Would it be a DevOps or BA or anything, right? Because we have all sorts of fields into IT. Might be DB too, database administrator too. So that's how I started my journey. I had a conversation with John, like John mentioned, right? 3 times I had a quick discussion after in a week span of time. After that, the way he had explained me the future of DevOps and what exactly the DevOps fit into today's IT world and how it makes things easily available for us. It somehow gave me a confidence that this is the thing which I need to pursue. We will be covering mostly 4 sections over here, like the why, how did I transform myself or made the efforts for doing so. After that, what were the challenges faced during this overall journey, uh, and also the triumph as in it's just that how means what are the success outputs look like and how do I currently. So the why section we already covered that like I mentioned I was curiously I was very curious about the technology around me due to the reason why kind of redundant work because I believe support work is very exhausting part where we have to give this provided round the clock. So I had many motives to move from my current job. So after 1 year of experience, I started feeling that I can pick things gradually, and I have learned many new things. That's how it boosted my confidence. But I stepped my journey one by one, means ladders one by one, and that's how I start feeling move bit confident. Uh, I'll just move to next part because we almost covered this one. Like, yeah. So how the transformation happened? To be very honest, I was more into computer when I was a kid, but like I said right, we always tend to move where the trend is going on. So that's how I moved to mechanical. I did diploma. My dad is into central government, so he wanted me to crack some of the other exam like that, and that's how he also encouraged me to move to the diploma, technical diploma part. So that's how I landed it into. Unfortunately, I was not able to uh, calculate that if there are too many candidates moving into a single stream at the end of the era when this batch will flow add together till degree completion, there will be a lot of job opportunities which will be getting filled and there will be a recession kind of thing, and that gradually happened. So that though I loved working into computer, I still remember that there was a Reliance Dhirubhai Ambani examination created, which was called as Computer Olympiad into our school days, and I ranked it. So I was very curious that in my higher grades till 4 to 6, 7 standard. In these standards, I ranked amongst all of them. So that boosted me at that time. But somehow the after getting more into higher education, that spark was a bit gone away. But like I said, again, I thought that I'll pursue mechanical, and that's how I started my journey to mechanical engineering. Now, like I said, how I landed to my first job, right? That I worked for my first job. I worked for 2.5 years. That is a fintech company, top 100 Fortune companies in US. Uh, so a friend of mine had referred me, saying that if you are not much into getting much help into mechanical, you should be also trying various fields along with it. As you have, because I was already into learning phase, I had completed my degree. I was also done with my designing diploma courses for a year, which I was very interested in and thoroughly doing it. I gained the certifications for that. So I had that relevant certifications to prove that age gap for me, career gap for me. But what happened is, as my friend said, that you should be also trying to support roles, because looking at the mechanical condition, I discussed this with my father and all, and somehow convinced myself to land into a role and started looking for opportunities, started going to walk and drive. During this point in time, I used to learn basic. At that point in time, I used to, with the help of YouTube, I used to learn the basic, you can say, software development, like very thin layer, means uh, we can say that whatever John covers in 1 hour of time, that I learned in 3 months of time period. So that was all which I learned. Means very small portion, but that did help me when cracking interview. Most specifically robotic process automation, because I targeted one organization and looked at whatever the job openings coming into it, and that's how I landed into that uh, job, which I worked for my first job. I worked around 2.5 years for it. After 1 year of completion, I had a word with John, pursued my course, 4 5 months of course, around 5 and 5.5 months. I gained a lot of experience during that course. After that, John helped me with the interview preparation. Is I used to, at the end of the course, I used to have some discussions in the outfield session regarding the same. But like John rightly mentions today also, that Linux is the base of everything. So my core focus at that time was Linux Unix. So today I'm also working on technologies like Red Hat, Linux, Red Hat, OpenShift. I work in Unix. I'm working on ETL ab issue. I do setup. I am also responsible for automations in my projects. I have worked on Jenkins. I'm working on GitLab. I have also done chef setups and perform the deployments. This uh, DevSecOps bench covers more of security angle, which I am currently lagging in. So that's how I am currently, why I am currently enrolled in. So, after completing, I was up to the topic where I was saying that I completed the job. So I pursued the class for 9 months. And after that also, I was searching for 9 months for a new job opportunity, but now into DevOps only because I had that relevant expertise. DevOps was trending technology then. So I used to interview many companies. The most biggest hurdle which I used to get is if you are not currently working into these technologies, how will you be able to cope up with our day-to-day activities here, or how will you be able to complete the tasks over here because you don't have any hands-on knowledge, and how will you be able to do that? I used to discuss these queries with John. That even today also I'm discussing the same queries with John. That how should I break this barrier, because it usually happens that if you have 10 technology expertise, still the interview comes up with something new. So that that still I face, but yeah, don't help me at that time answering those. I interviewed for Barclays then. I remember around 4 rounds I did it. 2 to 3 rounds for a purely technical round. My mainly focused on my strong areas. I still remember shell scripting was the most loved part of the Linux for me, which boosted the automation, continuous deployment, software development like life cycles, and a part of monitoring. A part of monitoring like this builds helped me a lot into cracking my first interview. Second into DevOps question. So I'm currently still working into Barclays, and I want to now explore the security area, and that's how I'm into the Postgres. Like I already discussed, right? What are the hurdles which I faced? That starting from zero, what John said, and I few minutes back also mentioned the same. Starting from zero is the very, I believe, difficult task that what people will think about us, will we be able to cope up? And that is where I truly believe John helped me a lot. I remember having good talks with Basit too regarding the same. That is how I finally approached the DevOps class and completed it. But it was very theory part for me. I believe out of four, the most theory part is starting from zero and thinking that will we be able to complete it or not. So my questions around joining DevOps course was mostly regarding this, that I am working into the support field. Will I be able to pick up DevOps and implement it in day-to-day activities? I believe most of the people now also were looking for careers which are having these queries with them. Along with that, as rightly said in this part of the slide, that I had self out that along with me there are 101,000 computer software developers, engineers who are looking for a job. How will I be able to compete them, and etc. But I had some faith in me and whatever the teaching which I had in John's class, and that's how that helped me to pursue again. So yeah, I would like to personally convey a message that constant learning, self-belief, and working on the fundamentals. These three parts I focused mainly on, and that's how I break my barrier and move to the DevOps field. So why DevOps out of all? I think I mostly covered everything. Some small achievements like I celebrated milestones for me. Like every for me, Unix technology was something big which I had only heard a few years back before joining the class, and practically when I implemented, I got to know that how it is actually. And when I used to execute scripts, I used to save them, I used to display them, I used to shoot people around me, to my sister and everyone. So these small things helped me a lot to boost myself. I got the right mentorship. I used to have continuous teaching from John. There is I believe John will be also having a closure session, which he usually does after at the end of the at the end of the sessions, our DevOps course. So he will be taking, I believe, one. So that usually is an eye-opener session for us, is what I think. Again. Uh, and this part mostly covers what I wanted to say is I had an engineering mindset which boosted me to think in that manner. But still, I believe self-confidence can also replace engineering mindset. So it doesn't matter irrespective of what background you are. But that related to me, so that is how I added it.
Okay, fine. Thanks.
Thank you.